We're live.
And welcome to another exciting episode of Rebel Sage Perspectives. I'm Rudy.
And I'm Michelle. And we are here, so happily here today, to celebrate that's your excited face, our 1 year of podcasting.
1 year.
Yeah,
It's been interesting.
it has been.
It's been
Yeah.
it's been very fun.
It has been fun. I think you've gotten to see the very worst moments of me and the worst shades of gray in my personality over the last year. Like, I don't know how to
Oh,
do
I don't sweat personality defects.
this. Oh, you're so mean.
What? No, I
A
mean in general. I wasn't
defect.
specific unto you. I mean
Oh,
just
true, true.
yeah. I mean I get two things. I get too short and personality defects, but I don't let that bother me.
Well, that's mighty grown of you, sir.
Trying to Well, not really. Not really at all. I'm not trying to be grown at all.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, so I think the listeners want to know a little bit about us. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to ask you the first question. Aren't you lucky, Sage? That's not the question. That was rhetorical.
Can I answer it anyway?
Sure.
No.
Oh, that's kind of sad for you, sir.
Whatever. You're squashing me out of camera. Nobody can see me.
Oh, well, it's definitely
I
not because
shaved.
I want to
I
like
shaved.
hog the camera's
I shaved.
spotlight.
I shaved today.
You did.
I
I
did.
see. I see that. Good job. So, what moment in your life, Sage, do you think defines you as a person?
I think I have yet to come to that moment. I don't. I don't understand. Okay, people when you like greet people during the day, you say hi and stuff, and they say, "Hey, how you doing?" And that's always kind of stumped me. And lately, I've kind of been answering back. I say, "Well, I don't know. You tell me," which kind of makes people uncomfortable.
I'm sure it does.
But if I had to pick, I don't know. I think it's probably kind of a mishmash of a few different things.
Right.
Um, I think first two, yeah, the first two memories from childhood, very vivid. I don't know why these memories are still very vivid to me, but they are. Okay, so I think it was preschool or kindergarten, and mind you, this was the late '70s.
Way
So
back then.
way back then, so public schools had this practice of doing mass eye and ear testing on a certain day, usually correlating
Right.
before they sent you to the first fall break or whatever. They'd get you in the fall and see
Hmm.
what's wrong with you first. So the vision test was just a big auditorium, and all the kids just kind of filed in and stood. We just stood there, and they turned out the lights, and on the one end of the wall was a projector,
Right.
and they gave us instructions, and they said we're going to put the letter E, and we want you to tell us which way the legs are pointing. So, granted, kids, we've just gotten through our ABCs, so we know what an E is, and they described it as having legs, so we understood.
Right.
And so they put images of the E up in different positions, whether the legs would be sticking up. Well, here for the people at home, the legs would be up, or they'd be to one side or the other side, and we would have to indicate. We'd have to put our hands up and indicate which way the legs they were going. If they were going up, or if they were going to the side,
Right.
or the
Right.
other side, or down. Um, and so when they started putting up the projections, what was I saw wavy lines. I could tell it was an E, but
Right.
it was wavy. And it would wave in one direction, or it would wave in another direction, or it would wave up, or it would wave down. So those were the hand signals I was making. I was showing them what I saw.
Like with the wavy,
Right.
yeah,
And the kids immediately around me, I could see what they were doing, but it just kind of lacked what they were doing kind of lacked something.
right,
And so at a certain point I got tapped on the shoulder and then they pulled me out and I remember being led away out of the room with all the other kids into a special room.
right.
So that stuck with me. The other thing that stuck with me was shortly after, like the next year, first grade. Um, was it first or second grade? Maybe it was second grade. I got taken out of class again, and they they took me to aptitude test me.
Okay,
And so I remember the first puzzle was just these blocks, and you were supposed to shape them together to make a square. And they were all like different shapes,
right, right.
and for whatever reason, it's like I could tell that right away, but I was bored. I was like immediately bored. So I made it three-dimensional and not a square, but like I fit the pieces together, and
Like
it
more like a cube
more like a
or
more well,
something.
no, more like an abstract sculpture.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
so I did, and I think maybe in my mind I was like, I know what you want me to do, but that's boring and I don't want to do it. And so I did that, and he looked at me. So you want to try again? I said,
That's so
no, that's
you.
no, that's it. And they're like, okay. And at that point, I don't know, I think it's very much maybe all cultures, but American culture in particular. The circle of acceptance means that you are like everybody else.
Right, yeah,
And in those defining moments, or at least not me defining myself, but me defining how I was in the world or how the world treated me. I don't know how to really say that,
right.
but it separated me out.
That moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those two moments made me understand that I was not like everybody else, or at least that's how the world was treating me. That I was different.
sure.
Yeah.
And you think that shaped your perception of yourself and like how you moved forward, or you were just already there and you were just like, yeah, I'm different.
No, I didn't like it. When I remember when I was a kid, I didn't like it at all.
Yeah,
In fact, moving forward, going forward through school, I did things purposefully to be with and like other kids.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, I guess in adulthood, um, I don't know so much. Again, defining myself, but things that were, I guess, pivotal in my understanding of the experience that I'm having. Um, okay, I have two stepdaughters from a previous relationship, and I remember the first time I came over for family dinner. It was your typical American family spaghetti dinner on the cheap, but everything was everything was in abundance because hey, who can't make a big bowl of spaghetti to
Right
feed
on.
50 people? So we ate and all that, and um, the kids were in their rooms, and it was bedtime, and their mother was bathing, and I was just sitting in the living room by myself, just picking on my guitar, and the youngest one comes walking down the hall, turns the corner, hi Rudy, goes into the kitchen. I hear a little rustling. She comes walking out of the kitchen with in one hand two sticks of gum, and in the other hand one of those those plastic tins from
Yeah,
Mints. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
she comes walking out with that. She goes good night, and she goes walking down the hall. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well it's bedtime, and gum in bed usually ends up being gum in hair or gum stuck to sheets or some kind of mess and mints
Right.
and overall I don't see how they're going to fall asleep if they're going to start pounding down this stuff. So I decided to be an adult. And so I catch her at the end of the hall. I say, hey, um, what you got there? Gum for me and my sister and my mints. And I said, wow, well, you know what? I don't know if those are appropriate for bedtime. And she looked at me. She says, Mommy says it's okay. And
Sure,
it
she
right,
did.
it would have been very easy for me at that point just to go, okay, you know what? Cool, and just go and
Right.
go back to tooling on my guitar. Um, but I didn't. I said, well, you know, I don't know if, I don't know. Maybe we should ask her, but you know, she's in the shower right now, so um, I'm just gonna take those, and when she comes out, we can ask her. So, as I was saying before, technology so crudely interrupted us. That's terrible. Not your fault. I know it's not your fault.
True. Not
So
me.
I was down at the end of the hall, and this little girl is staring at me, holding up these gums and mints, and I reach out and I take them from her. Then her face changed, and she let out a howl and a shriek and a roar, and the only thing that was really audible through all of it was, "I want my gum, I want my mints." And at a pitch that could shatter glass and curdle your milk.
Oh my goodness.
And with her hand still up, her empty hand still up, screaming, she just turned, went into her room. I heard her throw herself on her bed and just, my gum, my mints, I want my gum, I want my mints, and just crying and screaming. And I was so deflated. I turned around. I walked back down the hall. I put down the gum and mints. I sat down, and I just started playing again, and just thinking, oh man, this kid's gonna hate me. This is not a good start. And so then the middle child comes walking down, her sister, because they roomed together in the same room. Her sister comes walking down, just kind of plops herself next to me, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. She's all, like she was used to that kind of thing going, and
Right.
she was used to her little sister throwing a
Right.
fit. And so she just plops herself down next to me, and I'm just plucking away. And then all of a sudden, stream of consciousness, this kid just starts singing about her sister wanting her gum and mints.
That's awesome.
And I was completely blown away. And at that moment, I realized how much and how deeply I had fallen in love with these two individuals. One put the fear of God into me, and then the other showed me God's wondrous creation.
Right.
All this happened within a matter of about 2 minutes. And it really struck a chord inside of me as to the magnitude of this experience that we're having.
Right, right.
I love that part of my life. I really that evening I could not trade for $1 million or a
Right.
billion, or I don't know, whatever kind of funny money they're making. I know. I hope that answers your question.
I think that does answer the question. I think that does define you because you stood there and like had all the fear, but you were also found all the joy at the end. So,
Okay, well, um, I would like to ask you the same question, but more to the point. Um, you you stand out,
oh, thanks.
and you've got, to me, I think, an amazing fashion sense. A oh, I mean, you come into the room, and you come into a room and you're 10 feet tall, regardless, and two, you're 10 feet tall and got it all dressed up, and I want to know, where does that come from?
Oh gosh. I was always like as a child, I was always into like Barbies and dressing them up and getting them clothes and doing that. But a particular memory I have about just I think it was kind of at the beginning when I felt like I was really kind of trying to just own my uniqueness a little bit. I was in middle school, probably around 7th grade or so, and I had kind of come I I was kind of in that weird flux between wanting to wear all the brand names that the kids were wearing so I could fit in with them, and just being my funky, unique self in the way that I dressed. And I had um I had Esprit. I don't know, you probably remember Esprit,
Oh, I
maybe
I have I have a
brands.
fashionista sister. I
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah,
recognize most of
yeah.
the brands.
Right, right. So, Esprit was just huge at that point, and I had, a shirt, and it was, like, indigo blue, and it had, like, these yellow triangle things, like, shapes all over it.
Was this the 80s?
Yes, yes, it
Yeah,
was the 80s.
late 80s,
And
mid
it looked,
80s.
yeah, it looked like stained glass, kind of the way it was all pieced together, but it was all yellow, so that was weird. Anyway, the top was indigo, and then I had this purple Esprit skirt with like black net lines through it. So it's like a black and purple striped skirt, not indigo, purple. There's a difference.
Yes, there is.
And so I would wear those together all the time, and people would be like, "You know, those don't match." And I was like, "But do they need to match?" You know? And then I'd wear them with like black fishnet tights or just some black tights or whatever. And then I had these purple like ankle boots. They didn't even go up. They were like shoe boots or whatever. And they were purple suede, and I'm pretty sure, not entirely, but I'm pretty sure I threw that in the mix with the other shades of purple, indigo, whatever.
So, like the lost member of Prince's Revolution?
Yes. Yes. I've always liked purple and like whatever shade. And so I just used to wear that a lot, and I remember that just being like a defining moment for me where I was just like, I can do this. And people, the people who question it are the ones who are being lemmings and following the crowd. Like, why do I need to match, and why do I need to um, wear this or that or be this or that? I was kind of in that, like, I can do this for myself. I can have my own opinions and dress the way I want to dress and just be me. And I was, and it didn't seem to bother anybody.
Well, one thing I can say about you is convention definitely does not apply.
No, it definitely does not. I mean, I get along with everybody, even, the Karens and the Richards of the world. But
Richards?
yeah, it's like the male Karen.
You mean
Yeah, don't say it.
you mean
Everybody who needs to know
you
knows.
mean Dick?
Yeah, but that's the male like equivalent
It's a
to a
Richard. It's
Karen.
a
A
Richard.
Richard. You have to say Richard though. It's Richard.
Do I
When
have to?
Well, yes, when if you want people to know what you're talking about, their winky eyebrows.
I think if I think if I if I tell someone stop being a dick, I think they'll kind of know.
No, that's
or
because
or
you're
that
doing it
that
wrong.
guy's being a dick.
You're doing it wrong if you're doing it with that inflection, sir.
Oh.
They don't get it.
Oh.
Like if you say stop being a Karen,
Uh,
like that, it's not the same thing as oh my gosh, she's such a Karen, or going oh yeah, he's such a Richard.
or or
Just
uh,
saying.
or hey, look at Richard over there. No,
No, I don't
no.
know. I don't think.
Or actually addressing someone. Like you find a Richard, and then you know their name's not Richard, but in the
Right.
course of the conversation, you call them, "Hey, Rich. So, oh, your name's Tom."
That would be really funny if, like, if like I was in
Oh,
the
your name's Bill.
background
I thought it was Dick.
recording that. That would be funny.
Rick, Richard, Ricardo. No,
Something.
Dick.
Ricky Ricardo?
Babaloo, Motorfinger.
Okay, Sage.
Okay, what?
So I'm going to get to the point with this question, but it's going to seem weird at first. So sorry about that. Just steal.
Okay.
Okay. Do you think anybody had a crush on you in school that you were oblivious to, or did you have a crush on somebody in school that they were oblivious to your crush?
Well, as far as anybody having a crush on me, that all ended the moment I opened my mouth.
That still might sometimes,
I
I think.
probably so. Yeah, I was pretty good at turning people off.
Aw.
Usually for my own amusement. Sometimes accidentally. Um, yeah, I could think of maybe one. Um, she was, I think, 2 grades below me. This was high school.
Right.
Um, and I was in a service club with her brother.
Okay.
Um, and she
Getting
still,
those community service hours, huh?
right. No, it was more of a social club. We didn't really do much service. We didn't, no. We found ways to, you know,
Destroy the
drink underage.
universe. Oh, right. Okay.
But so she would like kind of look at me and like kind of stare at me, and I felt a little weird. One, she was well, she was a little younger, but she was beautiful girl. And like a head taller than me.
I
But
have no comments.
right, but she was half Vietnamese, half black. Just she was beautiful, and as an awkward kid, she was very attractive. And that was probably one that I spent time with her brother, and she was younger, and
Right.
two, I couldn't I didn't believe that someone that attractive would be interested in me. Um, Funny enough, years later, I say I was probably in my 20s and she was probably just getting into her 20s.
Hmm.
I ran into her at the mall.
Back in
And
the day when people actually walked
yeah,
around
when
the
people
mall,
actually
right?
walked around in the mall. And she had shed off all of the young teen awkwardness, probably grown to be almost 2 heads taller than me.
Nice.
She looked like a supermodel, and she looked at me and she recognized me, and I really think the smile on her face was, you could have had all this. And I really, in my mind, I was like, I could have had all that. Wow. Well, bless your heart. Bless your heart, wherever you are today.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
Yeah. So how about you? A multitude of men, right? Just men, women, small animals,
Well, ew.
old geezers.
No, that's your bag.
That's my bag. Oh, old geezers. That's an inside one.
Not explain that
we
probably
may let you
ever.
in one day.
I don't know. Not today though. Anyway, yes, actually, apparently a few guys had secret crushes on me. Apparently there was a whole group of them in Spanish class that all had a crush on me, and
Was it Mexican guys?
um yes, some of them, yes. Yeah. Um, but yeah, and then there were some others, and it's kind of funny. Like recently, some of those people were like, "Oh, did you know I had a huge crush on you in high school?" And I was like, "Really? Why didn't you step up and ask me out or hang out with me?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't know. You were intimidating." And I was like, "Me? How am I ever? I don't see myself as intimidating,
Maybe it
but
was a Prince in the Revolution outfit.
that was in middle school, buddy. Um, I did though. I did have a crush on somebody, but I recently told him about that. Like in the last year or two, and but I think you just go on the path that you need to be on. And as cool as it is to reminisce and go, oh, that's so cool. Somebody liked me. A bunch of people liked me, whatever, in high school. Like everything goes the way it needs to go for your life. And, you know, parts of my path have been riddled with potholes and obstacles. And I just feel so good. Like I sometimes just think, girl, you're a warrior and you kept going and you're here now and this is awesome. This moment. And, despite my hair issues now, despite my battles with, you know, the Grim Reaper and just life in general, I'm here now and we're working on this project and people hear our voices across the globe. And that is really a super cool place to be.
I trip out every time on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if things had happened differently, I probably would have stayed in Texas and I would have not, you know, seen a lot of the other states and a lot of the other places and met the cool array of people that I've met. And, that I've said this before on the podcast, but that is one of my favorite things about doing this. On top of our voices being heard across the globe, um, we have gotten to meet really cool people,
Yes. Yes,
Sage.
for sure we have. A
Yeah.
lot of great stories, a lot of connecting to what I think what defines humanity as a whole, all of the best things. All of the
Yeah.
best things. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I guess I'm just thankful for, for the journey and happy to be where I'm at. And I'm sitting here with you hanging out in your cool Birds of Paradise flower shirt.
Birds of paradise.
Paradise. Oh, nice. Y'all, why do I put up with this goofball?
Well, it's a it's how I think because I think what I do is I don't know if when I rub people, if I rub them the right way or the wrong way. And I don't think they really get it either. So they come back a third time to let me rub them again.
To see where it goes.
Yeah, to see where it goes, to
Yeah.
see what it's about,
Yeah.
and maybe choose or
I,
just get rubbed awkwardly until they figure it out.
I, you know, having met you kind of in the not so distant past, I get that. I do. I get that.
I
Um,
can't help it. People are so much fun.
yeah, definitely. I remember at first just kind of like going, okay, this guy's cool. I like him, but man, you just really never know what is going to come out of his mouth.
Yeah, yeah, like that whole the crush questions over there.
Right.
All of that kind of stuff in my life probably would have been a lot different had I just kept my mouth shut.
Yeah, I'm sure that was part of the reason, whether the guys said it or not. I was always very outspoken, as I am now. But yeah, it's just, but it's cool because, you wind up at this moment, no matter,
No matter what.
yeah,
And this moment is great.
yeah.
And I'm
So,
glad to be here sharing it with you
yes, I love
and
hanging out with you.
and everybody out there.
Yes. Very
So
cool.
so I guess well, hey, welcome in just a little bit deeper into into the madness of Rebel Sage
Yes.
perspectives.
Yep. So that do you have any other questions for me?
No, but I think we should do this again.
We should.
I think we should do this
Yes.
again.
We should do little short get to know the crazy co-host
Yeah. Well, we'll
segments.
we'll we'll pick a couple other questions
Yeah, we'll do
and
something like
and
that.
talk some trash.
Yeah, that's cool. So, well, that's it, guys. Thank you for joining us for our 1 year podcast anniversary show. And keep listening. Give us 5-star reviews. Keep doing that.
The fifth,
Yep, 5. But
five,
you,
five, and then say
you,
something.
you've got to write something
Right? Yeah,
too.
say so.
That helps us.
No writing, just type it.
Type.
Just
Well, okay, okay.
fifth, and then type
Yeah,
fifth, and then type
yeah.
fifth. Type fifth. Type.
Okay. I think the vinyl is scratched. You're the vinyl.
I'm the vinyl.
Scratched. Never mind. Okay. Bye,
Bye,
guys. Thanks
guys.
for coming by.
So close to the camera
I
today.
know. I'm really close. Like you can see all the places I missed putting the makeup on really well. So this is fantastic. Love y'all. Hope you can overlook that. Bye.